They were looking for a particular DNA of the daughters of men. They were looking for women of color.
What's going on, Biblically Constructed? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope your family is blessed. I found this clip to be quite interesting. And before we dive into it, I want to caution you guys in regards to extra biblical literature and holding it to the same regard as the closed canon of scripture. I'll tell you where he gets his sources from and his thoughts and ideas from. And we'll see if they are biblically accurate or not. Now, some of it we do see biblical reference to, some we don't. So let's listen in again and break it down, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
So we got now in Genesis 6, the fallen angels called Grigores. They were looking for a particular DNA of the daughters of men. They were looking for women of color. So these fallen angels carried a certain technology. They carried AI. They taught women how to wear mascara. Well, one of the fallen angels was called mascara. Another fallen angel was called cosmetic.
So let's start with the fallen angels, which he gives another name for, which is Gregorius, which in Greek means watcher, simply means watcher using the Septuagint. So these watcher angels, we do see biblically mentioned. We see it in the book of Daniel, chapter 4. Now, non-canonical books like the book of Enoch explore this topic of watcher angels deeper. And a small group of people hold the book of Enoch to the same level as scripture. Most scholars don't. I don't either. But again, we do see biblically watchers or Gregorius mentioned in Daniel chapter 4. But outside of Daniel 4, some think that these watcher angels were assigned to watch over humans. But by doing so, as they were watching, they lusted after the human women and had babies with them. And some believe this is where we get the Nephilim from. But this is kind of conflating or mixing the two books to bring them to that total conclusion. However, we do see Nephilim mentioned biblically, and we see it in Numbers, Ezekiel, and Genesis 6. We do see the sons of God had offspring with human, Genesis 6:4. Now, the next point he makes is they were looking for a specific DNA or women of color and married them. Let's be careful here, because in Genesis 6:2, let's go there, Genesis 6:2. The sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Well, let's stop here, because the first question is, who are the sons of God? Because there are a few different roads you can travel down, a few different theories on this. I'll tell you which one I go with. But one of the theories is that these angels were not angels, but just powerful men. Two, they were descendants of the third son of Adam and Eve, Seth, or these were fallen angels. Now, I go with the latter, but what we need to understand and come to the conclusion is what could be possibly happening here, because scripture cannot contradict scripture. If these fallen angels are marrying human women, wouldn't that be a direct contradiction to what God himself said in Matthew 22:30? For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels of God in heaven. Now, I know this is referring to us when we get to heaven, but it says we will be like the angels of God in heaven, strongly suggesting that the angels of God in heaven, they don't marry. Now, we need to keep this in mind, is that these angels in Genesis 6 are different than the angels in Matthew 22. The angels in Genesis 6 are fallen angels, so they're not worried about following God's command. If so, well, they wouldn't have been casted out of heaven. The fallen angels are in direct rebellion of God, and they oppose everything that God has set in place. So that's just why you would come to the conclusion that they married the women, these fallen angels did, because again, they're in direct contradiction to what we see in Matthew 22:30. This is the strongest theory I see. But you guys tell me if you see something else. I would love to hear it in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, let's move on, because so far I can agree with the majority of what this man has said. Or Mark, I think his name is Mark, what he has said thus far. Now, after a certain DNA or black women, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. Well, I would say, what was his intention of trying to make that point regarding this? That would be my first question. Because in that region, I mean, the women were women of color. Now, his next point is that the fallen angels carried AI. This is where he took a hard left. No, the fallen angels did not carry AI. We do not see. There's no scripture supporting that idea. If anything, this is a new age belief. Now, the fallen angel named Mascara, and this fallen angel named Mascara taught men and women how to wear makeup and mascara. Well, again, this is found in the book of Enoch, not in the closed canon. We see this largely back then in pagan cultures in regards to makeup and mascara, more so with pagan cultures, Egyptian, Persian cultures. So it seems this man, I think his name is Mark, he makes some good points. Then some others he brings up aren't so good, and this is because he's conflating scripture and the book of Enoch to come to these understandings, which isn't a good idea. Again, the book of Enoch is not scripture. At best, a Jewish apocalyptic text should not be held in the same regard with the closed canon of scripture. And so I would love to hear your comments on this one. As always, be bold, be blessed, but most importantly, be biblically constructed.